Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Good Thursday afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here live for our 2 p.m. First Alert weather live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. We're going to be taking a look at some rain chances that are moving through the region, some more rain chances for our Friday, and then possibility of some snow chances as we head into our weekend. As always, if you have any questions, head over to our Facebook page at WNEM TV5 News. There you can click on our chat, send your question. I'll try to answer it as quick as I can. I do apologize if I miss your question, as I don't always get the chance to look over that chat, or maybe I miss it at the time. So again, I apologize for that. But we're going to start off today's stream looking out towards our Holton Lake camera that is showing sunny skies. Not the tail across the region, but definitely seeing more of that sunshine if you live along US 127, especially up to the north towards Roscommon County. That area, including Holton Lake, has some sunshine right now. You can see some people are out there getting some ice fishing in, as we've had some warmer days that ice has started to melt in a few areas, but definitely still out there, just thick enough. Please be careful if you do go out ice fishing here, as we've had this streak of warmer days helping melt that ice here across mid-Michigan. But as we look out at our sky tracker, this isn't the case for everywhere. As you sort of move east of 127 and even now along 75 corridor east of 75 into the Thumb, that's where we're starting to see cloud cover still hanging across the region, and then even some rain chances now south of Saginaw towards Flint, and then out towards Tuscola and Huron County. A very light rain, but enough that you're definitely going to notice it as you're getting out and about for your Thursday afternoon routine. It should move out. We actually may see some more sunshine across the region, but we'll get more rain chances as we roll into Friday. Our hour by hour is going to show that. This rain chance should be out of the region by about 4 p.m. Like I mentioned, maybe some more sunshine. But as we get to sunset tonight, that cloud cover rebuilds itself, and another round of rain will start to roll itself into the region as early as 3 a.m. Obviously, timing could move a little bit earlier, a little bit later in the morning, but don't be surprised if, as you get out and about for your Friday morning routine, if you do see some rain chances develop. It's not going to be the most widespread, but it's definitely there to see. Could be heavy at times, especially as we're getting up for school on a Friday morning. And then as we get into the afternoon, we start to see our temperatures drop, and that's where we may start to see a transition back into snow chances. It's not going to be the most widespread, but it's definitely a possibility that by Friday afternoon, and especially Friday evening, any of that rain you did see is going to turn into a snow chance, again on the lighter side. And then as we head into our weekend, Saturday, some isolated snow chances that become maybe a little bit more consistent as we head into Sunday with, again, just more snow. Now, as we look back towards this afternoon, temperatures right now are sitting pretty rangy. Lower 30s out east, all the way into the lower 50s out west. So Mount Pleasant, Clare, both at 51, Gladwin at 50. But as you start to head out towards the Thumb, that's where you start to get those 40s. You got Midland at 43, Bay City now at 33, and then you got areas like Bad Axe at 37, Port Hope at 33, Port Sanilac at 35. So definitely cooling off as you get out to the east. That's with the help of that cloud cover. It's with the help of some rain chances as well. If you're in an area that gets some sun, you do warm up just a little bit more. And I do think there will be some areas that, even with that cloud cover, will gain a degree or two here over the next probably 2 hours. I think our highs for today will be right around 3, 4, and 5 p.m. It'll be after that, as we get to sunset and we get more cloud cover, that we start to see temperatures drop. We'll be back into the 40s and the 30s as we get through our temperature trend for the next 12 hours. In terms of our wind right now, it's relatively calm, mostly out of the south-southeast at 5 to 15 miles per hour. That should continue, but we will see wind start to increase just a little bit here over the next couple of days. So that'll be something that if you're someone that doesn't like the stronger wind, you may have to fight that off just a little bit, especially into tomorrow morning and then into the weekend. I can't read our chat here. Okay. Christina asks, good afternoon from Mount Pleasant. Good afternoon to you as well. Can we expect rain to freeze on the roads when it turns to snow? I think our roads are going to be in a good spot. It's warm enough where road salt should do a good job fighting off any of that freeze that we do see as temperatures drop. And I think for ground, we'll see this weekend in terms of accumulations, it's going to struggle a bit. We sort of reset just a little bit here through the last couple of days. Not going to count out some back roads, maybe getting some slick spots, but it's definitely going to be warm enough over the next couple of days that I think that chance is going to be pretty small, because even with that transition into snow, our temperatures are still sitting near freezing, just below freezing in some locations and just above freezing. We'll see that in our 7-day in just a few minutes. But as we get through the night, our lows are still sitting above that freezing point. We're in the lower 30s to the lower 40s, just a little bit warmer down to the south. And like I mentioned, wind is going to start to increase, where we will see wind gusts back at 25 to 35 miles per hour. So this is your wind gust trend for Friday. As we're getting up, out and about for our Friday morning routine, we do see those wind gusts at 25 to 35 miles per hour from the south-southeast and eventually transitioning out of the southwest. So definitely going to be a breezy Friday for anyone that has to be outdoors. Quickly before we take our break, we are going to look at our weekend forecast. Saturday, mostly cloudy. I'm not going to count out a few isolated snow chances looking to develop as we get through some areas on Saturday. Looks like we get more of a scattered chance though on Sunday. Like I mentioned before though, temperatures are a little bit warmer, so any kind of accumulations that are going to struggle on our ground, and any kind of ice formation may struggle as well, as air temperatures just sit at freezing or just above that freezing mark. I think the big thing is going to be it's just more snow, and then obviously it's going to be breezy as we get through both Saturday and Sunday, especially on Sunday. That northwest wind at 10 to 15 would gust up to 20 miles per hour. So definitely a windy weekend looks to be ahead for us as we get through the next couple of days. I don't see any more questions over in our chat. I do have to take a quick break. Once I come back from that break, we are going to be looking at our hour by hour once again. We'll be looking at maybe some more visibility issues as we get through tonight into tomorrow morning. We'll be looking at temperatures for the next couple days and much more. So make sure you stay right here. Welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here for the second half of our Thursday afternoon First Alert Weather live stream. We're going to start off this second half looking at our hour by hour, which is going to show that rain chance that we have right now into southeastern Michigan, including Genesee County, Tuscola, and Lapeer counties, and then into the remainder of the thumb is going to move out. I think by 4 to 5 p.m. that rain chance should be gone. We'll actually continue to see sunshine, but it's not our only rain chance. As we get up tomorrow morning, we'll see another round of rain look to develop itself across the region, even heavy at times as we're getting out and about, especially around 7 to 8 a.m. So don't be surprised by that. It's going to be after that colder air starts to filter itself into the region, and that's going to start to drop our temperatures. And once that temperature drop happens, we may start to see, and we'll start to see, the transition of rain to snow as we get into Friday afternoon. It's not the most widespread snow. I don't think it's going to be the heaviest snow, but it's definitely a possibility you'll see some flakes falling as you get out and about for your Friday afternoon and Friday evening routine. looking to stay mostly on the drier side into Friday night, but by Saturday morning, it's just a few isolated snow chances. And then as we get into Sunday, that's where we start to see maybe more consistent snowfall. In terms of accumulations, I think it's going to struggle because we've been so warm. We sort of had a little reset happen with all that snow that we had on the ground melting, and we have that grass and that sunshine, and again, just the warmer temperatures. So we'll definitely struggle to accumulate at the start, but if we can get more consistent snow into our Sunday afternoon, you may see some light accumulations wanting to develop. So don't be surprised by that as we get through our Sunday. Now, I did want to quickly highlight, we may see some more fog develop late tonight into tomorrow morning, reducing visibilities as we get out and about for our Friday morning. So don't be caught off guard by that. It's going to be similar to what we had this morning and even last night. I saw a few reports last night, especially along that 75 corridor from Flint to Saginaw, where visibilities were really reduced, and that carried over into this morning. So just be prepared for that if you have travel plans later this afternoon, really into this evening and into tomorrow, to run into those reduced visibilities as you get out and about for your routine. By the time we get into the afternoon, that rain chance moves through, temperatures start to drop, and that should help start to fight off any of that fog development. I think if you're going to see more reduced visibilities into Friday afternoon, it's going to be from snowfall, the combination of snowfall and stronger wind wanting to reduce visibility, but that will be a very isolated sort of chance as we get through Friday afternoon, but just be prepared for that as well. Back again to our lows for tonight. We're going to be a little bit warmer, similar to what we've been seeing. It's upper 30s, lower 40s, just a little bit warmer down to the south with areas like Owasso and Flint at 41, Saginaw at 39, also Midland and Mount Pleasant at 39, and then getting those lower 30s as you move to the northern portions of mid-Michigan, then the northern portions of the Thumb. You have Bad Axe at 34 and Port Hope at 32. Then we get to our Friday. Highs will be into the upper 30s and mid to upper 40s. This will be earlier in the day, though. This is going to be one of those days where highs occur earlier in the day as cold air will start to filter in. And then by the time we get to Saturday, our highs will be right back into those sort of mid-upper 30s and to the lower 30s. So definitely showing that signal that temperatures are going to start to drop here over the next couple of days, seeing those lower 30s by the time, or those mid to lower 30s by the time we hit Sunday. Let me load up our 10-day temperature trend just to show you what we're looking at long-term wise. So definitely seeing that cool down as we get towards the end of the weekend, lower 30s for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, but it doesn't look to be that long-term of a cool down. We're actually back into the upper 30s by midweek, and even seeing some 40s by the following weekend. So we're definitely seeing sort of that mix of 30s and 40s continuing to be into play as we get here over the next 10 days. Then we get to our wind. Like I mentioned before, it is going to get windy here over the next 24 hours. As we get even to this evening, we're already seeing wind gusts starting to peak at 15 to 25 miles per hour. This is at 10 p.m. And then as we're waking up, this is at 4 a.m., seeing those wind gusts starting to pick up 15, 25, and then some areas up to 35 to 40 miles per hour. It does look like as we get through Friday morning, wind gusts will definitely start to set up a little bit stronger out of the south. And then even through the afternoon, that trend continues with our southern counties of Shiawassee, Genesee, and Lapeer counties. Even at 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, seeing wind gusts at 25 to 45 miles per hour. So a windy day for some areas. It's not going to be everyone. You can see up to the north, our northern counties at 15 to 20 miles per hour for our Friday afternoon, and that trend continuing into Friday night. By the time we get into Saturday, wind wanting to calm down just a little bit. Still going to be breezy at times. You'll see a wind gust at 15 to 20 miles per hour, and then wanting to try to maybe increase just a little bit as we get through Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and then into Sunday morning. Now, it is Thursday. It's the weekly update for the drought monitor. I always try to look at this as we've seen more rain chances. We've seen some more snow. We've actually gotten snow melt here over the last couple of weeks. So let's see how that's updated here on our February 19th update. Not much change from last week. We're still seeing that abnormally dry setup through our northern counties into the Bay region and then reaching throughout a majority of Gratiot County and northern Saginaw County. It's really those areas into eastern or western Huron County that continue to be an area that we just have to keep an eye out, as that severe drought really hasn't changed much throughout the winter. There just west of Bad Axe as you get towards the bay, and then that area of modern drought sort of into northern Tuscola County through the remainder, or at least through a majority of the rest of Huron County. Now, the one change we have seen since the start of the year is into the southern counties of mid-Michigan. As you can see, we're not seeing any kind of drought characteristics within Shiawassee, Genesee, and Lapeer counties. And then as you get into southern Saginaw, Tuscola, and Sand Del Lac counties, also have had some improvement since the start of the year. So we really started to see improvement after like the first week of January, and we've continued to improve in some areas. Some other counties have really stayed pretty stable, and then we've continued to see some areas maybe just get a little bit worse. I think our eyes, like I've mentioned before, are going to be mostly out into western Huron County, how that severe drought sort of evolves here over the next couple of days and next couple of weeks. As we've gotten some snow melt, we get some rain chances. The ground maybe has a better job getting that moisture into it as we get through the rest of February into March and April. Those will be important updates and will really tell us how the summer ends up being as in terms of that drought with the drought monitor. So obviously we'll have updates on the drought monitor every Thursday, as that's when the update does come out. So if you're someone that is keeping an eye on that, that's always a good thing to tune in for. Now, right before the end of our stream, we'll take a look at our 7-day forecast. I don't see any questions over in our chat. So 7-day forecast, again, it is 40s for today, 40s for tomorrow. But temperatures will drop throughout the day on Friday. So we may end up seeing, again, a transition from rain to snow as we get into Friday afternoon. By Friday night, we're in the lower 30s. Staying in the 30s for our weekend, with temperatures continuing to drop. And then we'll be into the lower 30s for Monday and Tuesday, before we return back into those sort of mid to upper 30s by mid next week. We are again showing a scattered snow chance for Sunday, a scattered rain and snow chance for Friday, and a scattered rain and snow chance for Wednesday. That Wednesday, though, chance is pretty far out there. Things are definitely going to change, so we'll see how that updates as we get through the next couple of days. We'll have a better idea on that as we get through the weekend. But like I mentioned before, don't see any questions over in our chat. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. As always, check out our newscasts at 4, 5, 5:30, and 6. You can also head over to our website at WNEM.com. There, go to our weather tab where you can get more updates from the TV5 First Alert Weather Team. You can also catch out on our evening live stream where TV5 Chief Meteorologist Chris Easlick will have more updates. He'll have more forecasting model runs where you can see how the next couple of days will play out. Maybe if you have weekend plans, that's a perfect stream to tune into. But with that, I want to thank everyone for joining me. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, a wonderful rest of your week, and stay dry for the rest of the next couple of days.
Thank you for joining us. Today's stream has been brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.